Brakatia Howell, Brakatia Shai, Brakatia Howell, Brakatia Shai, Brakatia Howell, Brakatia Howell, Bashim El Shai, Bahashim, Rakal Kodash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone Drew well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. You Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the Pre Shaman, this week's topic is going to be entitled Be Careful of These Women. Be careful of these women. The inspiration of the show comes from what just happened to PJ Washington, an NBA and athlete, young star, Instagram model, Brittany Renner. She pretty much faked the relationship, got the baby. Once she got the baby, she was out of there. Mission accomplished. Deleted all the pics together, and she's gonna use the kid to leverage against this man for 18 years. How it goes in this court system, it's not in favor of the man; it's in favor of the woman. And this young man, he's trapped now. You know, if you know Brittany Renner, um, or might not be familiar, I know I did a lesson on her before because check this out. I looked her up. I was like, does she sound familiar? And she was this girl in this video. Remember about 2 years ago? I remember doing a lesson on this chick, and she was going into her body count, how she swallowed different rappers' kids, um, getting mad at Colin Kaepernick. She was just going off about all the numbers of. She did a tell-all book about her high body count, and man, bro, you're gonna be paying multi millions of dollars for something that individuals got for free, and it sucks. It's like what. As a father, you want to scold this Jake. At the same time, you have sympathy for him because he was sincerely deceived. You know what I'm saying? He really thought this woman saw him for more than his money. Which I mean, she didn't even make it a secret. It's obvious that this chick is just something you have fun with and you go about your day. But um, she's a professional thought, and she gamed him. And now you see what happened to Dr. Dre, ordered to pay um, 3.5 million a year, 300,000 a month. The priest Yahweh, he did a lesson to where he pretty much spoke about his friend who left his woman alone with one of his guy friends, and adultery happened. So look, brothers, you have to be careful of these women. I don't give a not just your woman, your sister, your mother, female cousin. Women are very uh, deceptive, and they Satan use women. The demons, they use women because women are like a lot of men's weakness. As it says in the book of Ezra, many have lost their wits for women, and man, this is a tragic story. This guy's life is pretty much over because again, you're trapped for 18 years. As soon as she got pregnant, um, she left the guy. And I think people on Twitter will respond. And let me see if I could just jump straight to that part. Let's see. Brittany Renner was faking it. Damn, who would have never guessed? So some of the comments was pretty much going at this guy because you worked so hard in the gym, but she wasn't there with you. Now you have to pay for her lifestyle. You're not gonna be paying for the kid's lifestyle because you'd be lucky if you see that kid in your life. If the Most High has mercy, it could, the, a miscarriage could happen. That's the only way you'll dodge a bullet. You know. Um, Without further ado, man, all I had to do was just type in "woman" in the book of Ecclesiasticus. It's fair to agree that the Bible is a book of wisdom, correct, which is wise decisions. Now let's see what the Bible says describing these women. I'm just gonna read through when I type in "woman" in the book of Ecclesiasticus, a book dealing with wisdom, right? It says, "Wine and women will make men of understanding to fall away." Prime example: King Solomon was a man of understanding, and his understanding in his old age went away when um, he started following the gods of these nations. Because what? Because the fear of the Most High and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding, as it says in the book of Proverbs, the ninth chapter. When you start worshiping other gods, that departs. So how did it happen? With all those women in the older age. And wine can't close your judgment because you're drunk, right? But pussy you could be drunk off pussy, figuratively speaking, man. To where you spend all your money, your time, your resources and what they call simp culture. Men can simp, meaning be simple, do simple things like simplicity, like silly, you know, irrational things for women. And women know this and they leverage it, especially if they have beauty. And nowadays, you could buy your beauty, right? You could go under a knife and get surgery. You could look like an ugly chick and put makeup filters, and the finesse continues, you know. Truly, you have to pray to the Most High to give you a sound mind, a right to not to see these women for what they are, you know, which are mainly sex objects. You know, that's what they are. In this time and culture in the Western Hemisphere, most women, more often than not, are gonna offer nothing more than sex. You know, they're not gonna cook, clean, or do anything for you after that. And this guy should have known that. Oh, they want to just spend your money as well. So, and you have different podcasters out there. They call it now the red pill. Red pill being pretty much aware of this, what's going on. So you have podcasts like Fresh and Fit. You have Kevin Samuels. You have the Irrational Male. If this guy was to watch these podcasts, screw the podcast, know the scriptures, he'd have been very, very hesitant. He'd have been mindful. He wouldn't want to wife up a hoe. Like that's something you learn as a kid, you know, turning a hoe into a housewife. And most women do switch up they might move out of state. They might have been a hoe in they past and delete all their social media. This woman's particular social media was all out there for the open. But yet these Jakes still simp. You'll still have men marrying Kim Kardashian. You'll still have men marrying Cardi B, um, Brittany Renner. Men with money that just do simple things. You have all the money in the world. You could be a virgin. You could fly to Colombia and deal with the baddest chicks for $10 US. But yet simplicity, simple things. They lose their wits for women. It says, "And he that cleaveth to harlots will become impudent." Yeah, nothing wrong with dealing with a harlot, but in excess, come on, bro. I'm saying it's not the way to go, and that's what the scriptures is telling us. Let's see what the next one says. Ecclesiasticus 28:15. A backbiting tongue hath cast out virtuous women and deprived them of their labors. Don't want to use that one. Behold not every beauty, and sit not in the midst of women. Here, this one's good. Ecclesiasticus 42:13. It says, "For from garments cometh a moth, and from women wickedness." So, yeah, women are wicked by design because primarily they rule by their emotions. They weren't giving wisdom. You know, that's in the book of Job. They weren't giving wisdom. When you see women talking about getting into scripture and listening to scriptures and God's my man and all that, that's a woman void of wisdom and understanding. All right, because if they truly have wisdom and understanding, they'll be understanding that a man is their God, a man is their Lord. Okay, when you try to supersede a man and go to the Most High, it's completely out of order. It's no different than us trying to supersede Yahweh Shai and go to the Most High himself. It's completely out of order. And there's laws telling you that, look, if a woman makes a vow, her husband could disannul that vow because the Most High is trying to tell us what order is. Okay, and for these women out there that they might get on the YouTube or they might make comments, they might do videos and teach. It's just completely out of order. And it shows their lack of wisdom. But yet, you'll have men that subscribe, tell them good video, sister. Pretty much do the same sim shit, and that's men that's calling themselves in the truth. So, hey man, just gotta be careful out there, especially in these times that we're approaching. When all hell breaks loose, the last thing you want to do is be simping for a woman, all right, that don't give really two shits about you. Because trust me, when all hell breaks loose, that's when the women are gonna use that thing between their legs as leverage to survive to the utmost degree. I'm talking about doing things to set people up, doing things to, if you chase something, you might be chasing some boxing that when all hell breaks loose. Next thing you know, you on a skewer being eaten. All right, not if you're a man of the Lord, of course, but I'm saying these women are going to be doing all sort of wickedness, leveraging the thing between their lusts. Because let's face it, when men primal needs kick in for sex, a lot of times the rationality get thrown out the window. It's not until you get that post nut clarity, as they say, all right, that you sort of kind of think better. But once you're in that biological mode to just reproduce, men do irrational things. It says, "Behold, not everybody that it says okay from far Uh, for from garments cometh moth, and from wickedness, woman. I'm gonna go to Ecclesiasticus 25 and 25 because that's a precept right there to that one I just read. Or is Ecclesiasticus 26 and 25? Let me try 26 and 25. It says, from the woman cometh the beginning of sin. Let's try Ecclesiasticus 25 and 25 then. See, that's it. I mean, this is a good one. This is a good one too. Oh, the point is in 24. So let's see 23. A wicked woman abateth the Ecclesiasticus 25 and 23. A wicked woman abateth the courage. And we do lesson on women and the garden's a lot of attention, but you really have to like think and just think in the spirit real quick, man. Why does the woman always get brought up? Why are prophets who know that these women ain't shit a lot of times still do videos on these women? Because I'm not being piloted on my own choice. I'm moved by the spirit when I put together this lesson. So the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, but brothers often do videos on women, right? And adultery and the wickedness of them is something for those listeners should say, wait a minute, I should consider this. If the spirit have since forever, men of the Lord, scriptures and all this talking about and telling you to beware these women, I should consider these things. These things are going to play a part into prophecy when all hell breaks loose. Be mindful of beautiful women. Be mindful of setups, all these types of things. Because your life could be on the line. I'm going to read verse 19 real quick too. Ecclesiasticus 25 and 19. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Yeah, that's a wicked thing what this woman has did. But look, it's nothing for her. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing because she's not thinking about this man. She's like, I got the baby. He's trapped. It's done. And the society, Esau will know all these things, but we got to remember that Esau is the devil. He's never going to side with a man. He's not going to even side with a man of his own kind. So how much more an Israelite man? So this guy put all those years into basketball, all the hardships to play in the NBA, and he chose to wife up Instagram model. Jeez, you know what I'm saying? It's like, man, this is why women weren't allowed to pick their men and pick their choosers, because if you let women pick the men that they want, they're all gonna pick and gravitate to the same man. All right, as those red pill podcasts bring out, only 20% of men are having sex with all the women. That 20% include either attractive men or successful men. Women are sex objects, men are success objects. So yeah, not a lot of men are having sex, man, and the men that are having sex pretty much having sex with all the same women, man. And if you ever dabble with them dating apps, you realize that they did a study on that, man. They did a study on that Elia Dunn has sent me the study that pretty much they had 300 men and 300 women. They put them on the Tinder or whatever, and they asked them how many of you had sex on the app, and the 300 women said yes, but only 50 men said yes. Meaning, of those 300 women, 50 guys was fucking all the same women. This is why women are not supposed to pick, because they're governed by emotions. A man is supposed to pick. A man is supposed to pick what the woman, like, in other words, her father should be picking who she deal with. Why? Because your father and or your brother is the only one that not looking at you, okay, as a sex object. A man will pick rationally a suitable male for you. But if you leave these women, they're gonna gravitate to the same men. They're gonna be fucking thugs and all this type of shit, getting knocked up, and this is what happens. This is why there's no marriages like that anymore. This is why family structure is destroyed. And the so-called white man, with his wisdom, understands these things, so that's why he allows it. If you look at the nuclear family structure of the Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans, primarily Judah, since you're heavily here in America, it's totally broken. And you have to thank this modern day woman for that, right? Which the so-called white man has engineered through his media all right, his witchcraft, okay, to create these new modern women, which seek nothing more than to destroy men and get what they can out of them, right? City girl, hot girl summer, WAP, this type of shit. It says her husband shall sit among the neighbors, and when he heareth it, he shall sigh bitterly. Okay, so it's all wicked. Okay, I read that part. We jump down now. Okay, 23 and 24. It says a wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh a heavy countenance, and a wounded heart. And that Jake is fucked up. He said, he tweeted, "You faked it all along." I mean, guy, you know what? Let me not even condescend to this dude, man, because that there must be a lot racing through that guy's mind. That's an evil that I don't even want to wish on nobody, man. This chick faked an entire relationship, and you know what's crazy about it is a lot of women do this. Have you raised kids that's not yours? And that's a man's biggest fear, raising a child that's not yours. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with a woman, putting your seed in her, just to find out you're raising a kid that's not yours. That's a terrible, terrible fear. So she's not the only one. The only reason it's being highlighted because she got it with a higher status individual. You know, it says a wicked woman abated the courage, and I don't really get why these athletes and these celebrities do this. You spending $5,000, $6,000 on a used product. You guys will never spend mad money on used cars or buy. Everything y'all rap about is brand new. Y'all don't buy old clothes. Y'all don't buy clothes that's been worn by mad people and shit. But when it comes to women, y'all's quick to pay a lot of money for something that dudes get for free. And I don't care how attractive a chick is. No matter how attractive the chick is, there was always a guy out there that got it for nothing. If she's not a virgin, there's always a guy out there that got it for nothing. So that's how come your mindset should be not really putting much effort into it, man. You know what I'm saying? But you learn that from experience from dealing with these women. If the brother has experience and if a brother dealt with a lot of women, he will know these things, or if he just follows the scriptures. But I'll say one thing: you can know the scriptures, right? But man, you got to experience it. You know what I'm saying? You got to experience dealing with a lot of women to really get it. And that's old thing. There's wisdom in the scriptures on a lot of things, but not until you experience those things yourself, you don't truly understand it, man. A lot you get to understand it from going through the mistakes of it, man. You know. All right. It says, and I've seen it, man. I've seen it. I've dealt with women that I didn't do. Okay, the Apostle Rama got a lesson up. Apostle Rama got a lesson up. It says, look, man, I've dealt with women, okay, that I got it for nothing. And I see the next man take them on trips, buy them designer clothes, cook for them, do all these things for them just to have the chick try to slide in your DMs, as it's called, later on, asking you again for sex, man. This is the wickedness of these women. I've seen it. I've experienced it multiple times, man. Dudes that did do all these things for their women, I myself not giving a fuck about them, and that's what's so wicked about it. The women tend to gravitate to the men that don't give two hells about them. It's demented. It's truly demented, man, and it's sad. It's fucked up. It's a curse. It's not till the kingdom that these women are gonna be right. I don't give a fuck if you've been with your woman for a lifetime, man. Don't ever trust them. Shit, man. Job tell you that. Says says a wicked woman. It says a wicked woman abated the courage, maketh it heavy countenance and a wounded heart or mind. That's what that heart mean. Your lob, your spirit. They'll fuck your spirit up. It says a woman that will not comfort her husband in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. So a woman is supposed to be like a comfort, man. The Most High made them to be a helpmeet. But through time, that's just not happening right now, man. For the most part, generally speaking, you do have outliers out there. You do have women that still have that spirit on them to just want to help their husband and do right for their man. But in the Western society, that's very hard to come by. Primarily, that's how come when I take a woman, if I'm going to take a woman serious, all right, I want to know what the relationship is was between her and her father. Because if she doesn't respect her father, more than likely she won't respect you. All right, and even worse if she wasn't raised with a father. It's like, man, more than likely. You got guys like Tom Likas. There's tell-all signs, man. There's tell signs. If she don't have a father, she have tattoos. I mean, shit. I know you're not supposed to judge a book by a cover, but generally speaking, there's tell signs that this woman is how she's gonna be, bro. You know, it says here it goes. This is the Bible itself. This is the word of the Lord. It says, "Of woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die." Why? Because Adam did not sin, but the woman being in the transgression sinned. And then, Adam sinned. you know, which, man, a lot of men have. It was set up in the spirit that way. It was set up in the spirit that way for Adam, all right, to go along with what his woman was getting into. It was set up that way in the spirit because he had to go off. Sin had to be introduced in the world so we could understand the meaning of right and wrong. You know, that had to happen. It says, "Give the water no passage." Why? Because a little water could corrode. Neither a wicked woman liberty to gather abroad. When you deal with women, one of the number one things they love to do is travel. They love to gather abroad. Scriptures is telling you don't let them do that. But in the society, they get to do whatever the hell they want. And the first thing they want to do is gather abroad. I want to travel here, travel there, travel there. The whole time they traveling, different dicks is going up in them. You know? More often than not, they talking to different dudes. They could be married. It's just that wickedness is spreading. That's how come really the Lord is telling you, like, you got to restrain women. You got to protect women from themselves. Yeah, men have to protect women from themselves. Because if you leave them to their own devices, they're gonna do wickedness. They're not like us. So our benefit as men is we're men are logical, reason. That's what logical mean. Logos. It goes back to reason. Most men are. We live in a society now where a lot of men weren't raised with fathers. They were primarily raised maybe with women or in a house full of women. And unless the Lord really have mercy on you to, open you to the scriptures and give you new fathers in the spirit, the apostles, the elders, and brothers, a lot of times you'll also be governed by your emotions, which is that's not good. That's not how you should operate. You should not be leading on your heart or your own understanding. You should be governing yourself by the scriptures, wisdom and reason. It says, "If she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh early." See that? This is wisdom right here. If she ain't doing what she ain't on the same program with you, just cut it off early. Cut her off from thy flesh. See that right there? This scripture right there proves that Eve was not literally taken from his rib. Okay? Eve was not literally taken from Adam's rib. Right? It just means that they were very close relatives. As it is written in the book of Samuel, bone of my bone. So, yeah, when you have the act of sex, make y'all one flesh. So he said, look, get rid of her. And give her a bill of divorce and let her go. Is divorce supposed to be a thing that we're supposed to do? Not really, nah, man. Yahweh was telling us, look, the reason that divorce thing was set up is because the Lord knew pretty much, these women were gonna give us hell, and you're not gonna be able to stick with them for the rest of your life for the most part, But really, when you take a woman the way the Most High wanted to be, that woman's supposed to be with you for the rest of your life, and that's how it's gonna be in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? But as a part of the curses and the way things are set up, some women you just can't, And men do try. Men do try by nature because you know why? Because men think not just for themselves. Like when a woman get money, when a man get money, right? If a man runs into a lot of money, he's thinking about what he could do for himself and his family, for the most part. When a woman get a lot of money, she think about, I'm an independent woman, so they think for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So men will try to make things work. Even if the woman is pissing them off or giving them hell, they'll say, you know what, for my kids, let me try to work things out. Women, not so. They'll break this shit up. That's how come what? 80% of divorces are filed by women. That's what happens when you leave them to the emotions and you give them liberty and stuff, man. You're gonna have a society full of divorce, a society full of a lot of baby mamas, a society full of a lot of finessing, and the so-called white man loves it because his woman is the so-called white man will be bucking up sometimes, but for the most part, they women are in order because the white man is in power. You know what I'm saying, and their women are more feminine. But the Negroes, Latinos, and Native American women, I'm just saying straight, man. A lot of them are very embarrassing. They're embarrassing. They walk around with shower caps on their head and furry slippers and butterfly flap eyelashes. It's embarrassing, man. It's no different than the Jake that walk around with his pants off his ass, you know, or ghetto and shit like that. It's an embarrassing look, but hey, our people embrace it. Ecclesiasticus Ecclesiastes 7:26. I'm not gonna rant on too much about this, man. I think the point's been made. And if you want more on it, trust, man, there's a million shows talking about women. There's a million and one shows talking about women. Brothers and did a million shows on these chicks, and there's a million scriptures dealing with them and tell you pretty much avoid and just not get caught up in their bullshit. It says Ecclesiastes 7:26, and I find more bitter than death the woman. Damn, crazy. I find more bitter than death. Because at the end of the day, death ain't really bitter. The sting of death, okay, yeah, but death is not a bitter thing, man. You know, when you die, you in the spiritual world. You have peace, man. This is really the bitterness, living this life. You know what 50 Cent said? If you're not if you listen to 50, you probably know this lyrics, but 50 said, death gotta be easy because life is hard. That's a true statement. This life is a hard life. For the most part, for the Negroes, Latinos, or Native Americans, it's gonna be a hard life. Because this is a curse. This is where judgment is, and this is the hell. The hell is played out here on earth. Whether the Most High gives you a heavenly lot in terms of putting you in a high status in this particular place where life is easy, but for the most part, and for most individuals in this world, nations included, life is gonna be hard. You know, and I think that make it hard for men. Life hard for men, be women. You know, that's just the truth of the matter. That's just how things are. It says, and I find more bitter than death the women whose hearts is snares and nets, traps. Snares and nets are used, to catch birds, okay? Catch different lawful creatures you could eat. It's a snare, it's a trap. He said their mind is like that, though. Their mind is full of snares and traps and all types of shit. Women, man, when they mind get to racing, they think a million and one things. They act upon emotions and they'll act upon assumptions. It's crazy. That's how come men are not supposed to act that way. That's not what men are supposed to act like. We're not supposed to assume. That's how come you see the scriptures tell us these things. Don't let the sun go upon your wrath, down upon your wrath. Women will do that. A woman will feel another way or feel some type of way about something, and they'll hold that shit in for 4 6 months, a year, and then bring it up a year later. Bible tell you, nah, man, something is offending you, something is on your mind, you say right then and there. Squash that shit so your mind don't race. You know? So see? It says, and I found more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Damn, man. This man's hands he's locked up. She just put his ass in straights. With that kid, here it is. You're supposed to welcome a child in the world. Women used to pray to have kids. The Most I open up their womb now. Now women are aborting kids to live out hot girl summer. And men are afraid of kids because they know that kids are now being used as leverage. You know what I'm saying? Leverage. They're leveraging human beings against you. You don't get to see your own kids, man, in this society if they don't want you to. Meanwhile, you paying for her lifestyle and another nigga's dealing with this woman. the mother to your son. This is the society we live in, man. And it's hell. It's complete hell. It says in her hands is bands. Whoso pleases the Most High shall escape from her. Right. So if you fear the Most High, you're gonna be very mindful of the woman you deal with, man. Be mindful of the woman you put seed in. Be mindful of the woman you share things with. You know, use what, man. Look, if you're gonna take a woman serious, use those particular cues I mentioned. What's her relationship with her father? You know, how many tattoos she got? These are the tell all signs. How about this? What she do after y'all fuck? If you bust a nut, y'all hook up. Does she say, "Oh, I gotta go to work now. I got work in the morning"? Then you know that's just some shit you gonna keep popping. If she say, "Look, I'm gonna come over and cook for you," you entertain that. I just want to fold your laundry. You entertain that. You want to back rub, your feet rub. You entertain that. See where it goes from there. Don't fully commit till a year, 2 years, and no matter how many years you've been with her, don't fully trust her ever. You know, that way, if something was to happen, you don't lose your fucking shit. You don't lose your mind because you're always, always, always on the fence. You know, because the times that we're approaching, when this RFID microchip becomes mandatory, and you're gonna need that to eat and survive, that's when they're gonna use that leverage the most, man. And if you're not solid up here in the head from the scriptures or experience, you know, you can fall. It says, "In the hands of his bands, whoso pleases the most shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be taken by her." And look, brothers and God with wicked women, that don't mean that we sinners, man. We just ended up with some wicked bitches sometimes, man. That's just how the shit go. Hey, but that Jake, that Jake is a sinner. We all sinners, but you know what I mean. That Jake, he's probably, he's in the world. I'm not saying the guy's an asshole or anything like that, but he was simple as hell. Simple as hell. He got caught out there. Let me keep reading. It says, "Behold, this I have found," saith the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, "which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not one." It says, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. "One man among 1,000 I have found." So he's looking for righteous men. Out of 1,000 righteous men, he found one. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. Ecclesiasticus 7:28 is a very, very interesting scripture because if you understand how compounding works, you see how quickly the wicked compounds the righteous. Let's use Solomon's ratio real quick. I like to do this just to give an idea so you kind of visualize how quickly wickedness compounds in this place, man. I'll go to my calculator, right? So he says 1 for every 1,000, right? We're looking at the calculator, 1 for every 1,000. So out of 1,000 men, 1 righteous, right? What about 10 righteous men? Out of 10,000 people, out of 10,000 men, let me not say people, out of 10,000 men, 10 righteous, right? Let's keep going. What if you want to find 100 righteous men? 100,000. Let's do it one more time. Out of 1,000,000 men, you see how quickly this compounds? Out of 1,000,000 men, 1,000 righteous men. Okay? I'm going to do this one more time. Out of 10,000 men, 10 million men will be wicked. Right? And I'm gonna stop here because 144,000 It's pretty close to this number right here is 100,000. So out of 100,000 men, right, 100 million men will be wicked. You see that? 100 million men. If you go to 100 million men going on Solomon's ratio, you might find 100,000 that's righteous. Now check this out. Check this out, right? That's just men. That's just men. There's 7, on average, there's 7 women for each man, right? Because remember, I said men, not people. So of this 100 million, right? Let's times it by 7. Be being modest, right? So for every 100 million, times that by 7, you have 700 million, right? You have 700 million women to accommodate these 100 million women, the 100 million men. That's a total of what? 800 million, right? In that, you're going to have women and kids. We're talking about under the age of 12. So on average, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 kids, right? So you say now that's another 300 million, right? So we have 100 million men. We have 700 million women. And we have 300 million kids out of that. Probably more. I'm being very modest because I want this to sink in. That's a total of 1.1 billion people. Not men now, we're talking about people. 1.1 billion people. And of that 1.1 billion, you might only find 100,000 righteous men. See, that's why we say it's not a numbers game. That's how come we don't get caught up in numbers, because we understand that the wicked far outreaches the amount of men that are going to be righteous. And of this billions of numbers we've just mentioned, Solomon says, look, man, I ain't going to find no goddamn righteous woman out of there. You know what I'm saying? If a righteous woman is a woman that serves a husband. To you sisters out there that's listening, please don't try to get into breaking down scriptures or understanding the scriptures or none of that stuff. That's not your lot. Your lot is to find you a righteous man and find out how to please him. Find any damn man. Not find any damn man, but necessarily if a man doesn't believe, hey, still serve him, man. If he's an Israelite man, serve him. That's your whole mission. Your mission should be finding out what's the best way to please my man. Let me just prove that real quick. Because I think these people have it twisted out here. They think she's a righteous sister. She knows the scriptures, and that's bullshit, man. That's niggas simping. If a man is to be real with you, he'll tell you the truth, according to the scriptures. That really, the Bible is not for women at all. The Bible is for men, and it's up to that man if he wants to teach his woman or not. That's it. It's for the men. Revelation 21:3. And I've heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High. So the tabernacle is the house or dwelling of the Most High is with men. Read it again. Revelation 21:3. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men. So is the Bible a sexist, misogynistic book? Yes. It's focused primarily on the man. See, when you see that word children, if you go into Hebrew, it says sons. Mosai is not dealing with women. Yahushua is not dealing with women. The Bible is not dealing with women. This is just the truth. The Bible is dealing with men. And it's up to that man if he chooses or not. Okay? If he wants to disclose this information to his woman. If she gets it, cool. If she doesn't, cool. Seriously. Her primary thing should be her righteousness comes from how perfectly she could serve her man. So if you have a woman out there that's serving her man, and she don't believe the scriptures, she might still be doing sort of worldly shit. Might be, I don't know. She could be, doing worldly things, whatever. But when it comes to serving her man, she's on point. That's better than a woman in her pride saying God is a man and trying to teach a man and teach and all this type of shit. Because she misses the point. That woman, the woman that serves her man, that don't know any scriptures, has a greater chance of being saved through that man than the woman that considers herself all up in the scriptures and don't know damn what, does not know how to serve a man. It says, "Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and He will dwell with them." And look, man, the Most High is not even dealing with all men, let alone a woman. The Most High is not even dealing with all men. The Most High is only dealing with a select nation, which is the nation of Israel. Within that nation, He's dealing with another selective portion of that nation. And in that selective part of that nation, He's only dealing with one gender of that nation. See, this is how come men are compared to gold. Well, I would say righteous men are compared to gold because it's so hard to find. Women are hard to find. Beautiful women are easy to find. They're in abundance. Even though in this society they treat them like they're royalty, they're in abundance. Men as a whole are the less in quantity, and then a righteous man, we did the ratio, or even a greater rarity. So if you get a man that's doing his best to serve the Lord, you stick by that man. And if you sisters out there listening, and you got a man, and he's not in the truth, but he's a hardworking individual, he's taking care of you, you serve that man like you serve. Hey, that's your Most High. That's your Most High, your man. Behold, the tabernacle of the Most High is with men, and He will dwell with them, and they shall be His people, and the Most High Himself shall be with them and be their power. See, I'm gonna do one more. That was in the New Testament. I'm gonna do one in the Old Testament. Go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 34 and 31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men. So this concept of woman pastors, and it's all bullshit. Scriptures tell you, says I suffer not a woman to teach, or usurp authority over a man. Most High is not dealing with you women on that level, man. But sorry, Yahweh Shai is not dealing with you. Look, man, the Most High is not even dealing with us directly. So let me not even say the Most High. You know what I mean by that? I mean we have to go through Yahweh Shai. We don't go to the Most High directly. That is out of order. And if there's guys teaching that's out of order. It says, and ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men. And I am your power, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right, I know I said that was the last one, but let me prove what I just said in the book of Corinthians. Because these guys, man, that's teaching that. These guys that are teaching that we should go to Yahweh directly. Come on, it's out of order. It's out of order. It's disrespectful because Yahweh tells us the order. He says, look, man, y'all filthy right now. I gave you my son. That's who you kiss. That's who you serve. That's who you worship. And by worshiping, you'll be worshiping me because you're trying to talk to me, sending a letter to him. Yahweh's dealing with Yahweh Shai. And the elect men of Israel, the nation of Israel, should be dealing with that mediator, Yahweh Shai, the men. Women could pray to Yahweh Shai and all that at the end of the day. But their primary Lord is their husband, is their man. This is the order of things. The Most High deals with order. Anything out of that is chaos, man, and confusion. And that normally stems from what? That normally stems from your emotions. Deviating from the scriptures to follow your fucking emotions. That's what leads to a lot of disorder and chaos, man. 1 Corinthians 11 and 3 says, but I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahweh Shai. Boom, every man. Sakari, your head is Yahweh Shai, man, not the Most High. Yahweh Shai is our head. He's the one we're going through. He's the one that came down and made a remission for our sins. He redeemed us, man. So for you to say we're not going to worship him when the scripture says otherwise shows your lack of order, shows that you lean upon your emotions, how you feel. Scriptures don't deal with feelings, man. Most High deals in absolutes, yeas and nays. There's no gray area. It says, but I would rather you know that the head of every man is Yahweh Shai, and the head of the woman is the man. This is order being established. The Apostle Paul, which as it is written in the book of Corinthians, if you have understanding, you understand the things that I write onto your commandments from the Most High. The Most High moved this man to put together these epistles and the different brothers to write the letters and all that. It's letting you know that what? And the head of the woman is the man. Let me read that part about Yahweh Shai again. That the head of every man is Yahweh Shai. See that? Your crown, who you go to, Yahweh Shai. That's why we big him up. We worship him. We worship Yahweh Shai. You know? What did Yahweh Shai say? If you're not gonna kneel or bow before me, cut his motherfucking head off, man. Roughly paraphrasing. In other words, if he ain't gonna worship me, bring him before me, I'm gonna slay his ass. Rightfully so. So Yahweh Shai is telling you to worship him. And we do. But we also understand that the head of Yahweh Shai is Yahweh, the greatest supreme being. But we can't deal with the Most High directly right now because we're filthy, man. We're filthy. We're in filth right now. We're in sin right now. We're in these wicked bodies, these wicked ass thoughts that we think, man. To think we could go to something so holy and pure in this. Come on, brother. Nah, man. That's how come he sent his son. That's mercy right there. That's mercy right there, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai sent his son Yahweh Shai for us. That's mercy. Saying he could have said, "Look, man, to hell with y'all. Fuck y'all. I'm gonna raise up some stones. I don't need y'all." You know what I'm saying? He told Moses that. He said, "Fuck it. I'm gonna just do away this whole nation and start over." He could have done that if he wanted to. You know, Moses. We know the Most High wasn't gonna do that, man, because the Most High controlled everything. But Moses pleaded for us, and he said, "All right, fuck it," you know. But still, the Most High was just letting know in those scriptures, he don't need us, man. The Most High don't need nothing. He's the Most High. But through his mercy and grace, he sent his only begotten, the only spirit he created. For us, man. So for these people to come on out of just come out of their mouth and say things like, I could talk to the Most High directly. The Most High is my man. We don't need to go to Yahweh Shai. That is so, man, disrespectful is the word that comes to mind, but it doesn't encompass how the word I really want to express how I feel about how disrespectful that is, man. And madness that is. It says, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Yahweh Shai is the Most High. See that? So that's order right there. I'm going to close the lesson right now. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rekar Kodash. That belongs to the apostles and the elders. Great Mills Ultra Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. You Akim to the Dakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.